Hi guys, thanks for coming back. Today we're going to show you how to make some parathas. I have my sister joining us today, so hope you'll enjoy. We're going to be making some soft paratha. I'm going to tell you what you're going to need. You're going to need about 4 cups of whole wheat flour, which is, I use sojata, which you can find at the Indian grocery store, but you can use any kind of whole wheat flour. About 1.5 to 2 teaspoons of salt. You're going to need about 2 teaspoons of whole cumin seeds and about 1.5 teaspoons of this ajwain seeds. Most of these are found right now in Publix or any other store, or you can even find them at the Indian grocery. You'll also need about 2 cups of lukewarm water. You're going to need a spatula. You're going to need a pan for frying, and you're going to also need some oil to drizzle for when you want to fry the parathas. So let's go ahead. I already put all the ingredients in here. There's 4 cups of flour in here. There's the salt is in there, the cumin seeds are in there, and so is the ajwain seeds are in there as well. And then you're just going to take a spoon and make sure you mix it well. And sometimes, I don't know, you can always taste the flour a little bit to see if the salt is okay. You can just take a little bit on your hands and palm of your hands and taste it if you want to taste it. I sometimes tend to oversalt it, but that's why I, try to put less at the beginning. So you mix it well, and then you're going to use about 2 cups of lukewarm water. I would just start off with putting, 1.5 cups first, and then you can always slowly add it in. If you need more, because you don't want to make it too hard and you don't want to make the dough too soft either. So I put about 1.5 cups of water, and you're just going to mix it. It looks like I'm going to need more water, so a little at a time, because you don't want to make the dough too soft either. I'll need just a little bit more, so I'll just add a little bit. It's better just to add a little bit at a time instead of pouring the whole thing in there, because if you have too soft of a dough, you can't really do much about it. If the dough is a little bit hard, then you can always soften it. You just want to make sure you take the flour from the sides and just knead it for a little bit, for about a couple minutes. And I think the dough is already almost ready. And then you're just going to let it sit for about maybe 20 to 30 minutes. So there we go, the dough is done. Let it sit now for 20-30. Cover it with a plate and let it sit for 20 to 30 minutes. And you can see the consistency is just a little soft. It's not super soft. It's not really hard either. Okay, so the dough is done. I'm just going to cover it with a plate, and you're going to let it sit for about 15 to 20 minutes. And if you're out and about doing things and whatever, it's fine even if it sits longer. Okay, so while your paratha is getting sitting, we just wanted to prepare a few things so we can put it in the pan and cook it. So I got a towel here so it doesn't slip and slide. I have a little dish here. I have a little rolling pin that you can use. You'll also need one of these, so you can use for the parathas. I have a shaker here with flour. It's all-purpose flour in there. Okay, so you also need a baking rack. And then you'll also need like a cooking sheet just to place the parathas after you roll them. And you're gonna also need some oil to drizzle over the parathas when you're making the parathas. Okay, so once your 30 minutes are over, we're gonna start prepping. Here now we're gonna make little round balls. See, it's nice and soft that you can handle it easy. Make them into round balls. It's a little sticky, but it's okay. It's not so sticky, but I like to either use, sometimes I like to use a flour, or I take a little bit of oil and just drizzle it on my hand so it doesn't feel so sticky. And I'm gonna make about, I don't know, like this size maybe. Balls, I don't know, about like a golf ball size, probably like a golf ball size balls. And you just want to make those balls and set it here. Okay, so now I got done making all the balls. I have maybe about between 17 to 18. And like I said before, some of them are small, some of them are big. Okay, so you're gonna roll it like this and just flatten it a little bit. Okay, so you can see. So I'm just gonna roll it out. And see, you can just roll it out round. Okay, so once you roll it out, you're going to sprinkle a little bit of olive oil. I take it on a spoon because I tend to drizzle a little bit too much sometimes, but maybe like a little, half a teaspoon, just to cover it up. You're just going to take the oil, cover it up. We do this so we can layer the paratha and it comes a little bit flaky. And then you're going to drizzle some of the flour on top. And then you're going to make it like a triangle. You're going to fold it over once, and you're going to fold it over again. And this is how you're going to shape them, like this. And you can make like 4 or 5 of these, and you can just set them here. And then Okay, so now once you have that done, you're gonna just place it here, and I like to do all of them, so you can just have it ready. And once I have this pan that you could use, you need to have it a little bit high at the beginning initially, so it's, you know, quite warm. I have it right now. If you have one of these stoves, I have it right now on a gas stove, about 7, but you can lower it. I think I'm gonna need to lower it a little bit now. It's getting warm enough, or hot enough. You want to make sure that the temperature is warm enough. So now it's gonna be on about 6 or so, and you can leave it at that temperature. And if you feel it's too high, then you can just lower it a little bit. Take each one again. You're gonna sprinkle a little bit of the flour on the top. And you're just going to roll it kind of like a triangle, just the shape of it. You don't want to make it too thick or too thin. So, and if it doesn't come out to the right shape, that's fine. It's okay. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. So this is about the size if you want to make it. And then you can just make it and lay it again, and then you can do all of them here. Let me do the next one as well. And then you can get all those ready. And once that's done, then we're gonna put them on the stove. Now you just want to check the heat and make sure it's not super high either. I think it was a little bit too high, so I lowered it to about a 2 now. So that you want it high enough, but about a 2 or so it's good. So now we're just gonna place the parathas right on top of that, and you're gonna let it sit and cook for about a minute or so until you see some bubbles coming up. Once you see the bubbles coming up, you're gonna flip it over. And you don't want to flip it too many times because then it's going to become really hard. So you want to just flip it maybe 3 times is good. I think over 3 times is a little bit too much. It's starting to bubble a little bit. And you can see we've got some bubbles here and there. The temperature may need to be a little bit higher, but you can always adjust it, like I said. So now it's time to flip it. And you can see those little brown spots, and that's what you want. And once you flip it over, you're going to drizzle some oil on the sides and a little bit on top. And you see, look, it's starting to puff up. Oops, a little bit too much there, but that's okay. You're gonna do this, and see, look, it rose up a little bit. And you're gonna flatten it like that. I think it's done now, it's ready. And there you have your parathas. There's one. Okay, so here's the next one. Then you put it straight on top. Okay, so the parathas are done, and you can put them on that baking rack so it cools for a little bit. And then once it's cooled, it's ready to eat. And you can eat this parathas with pretty much anything you want. Normally, a typical Indian home, we would eat it with sabji, or like you can eat it with cauliflower or potatoes. Anything you really want to eat with. You can eat it with some chutneys if you want. And you can eat it in plain with butter. My kids love it with butter, and they just like to eat it, on the go. And that's it, and thank you for watching, and if you try it out, let us know how you like the recipe, and please subscribe or like us. Thank you.